if you were to have that job of Minister of Culture or Tourism, what's your exact title? Something like
Something
that.
like yours, yeah, really long.
Really long. What would be on your itinerary for mandatory stops or strongly suggested stops for that first-time visitor to Israel?
Well, not Miri Regev's office, that's the first thing. But that's a really great question. That's a really great question. Here's what I want them to see. I would take them to an emergency room. We were being sponsored in part by Hadassah, so let's take the Hadassah emergency room. Okay? Here's a true story. Here's a true story, unlike everything else that I've said tonight. On Rosh Hashanah in 2000, I went to shul and didn't feel well. Those two are very often tied together. But this time I really didn't feel well, and at the end of the day left Rosh Hashanah services in the middle, got in my car and drove to Ein Kerem to the emergency room and said to them, I think I'm sick. And about an hour or two later, as they were prepping me for an appendectomy, there were four people in the OR. I was, of course, the star. Thank you very much. There was a Russian-born Jewish surgeon. There was a Haredi woman who was the nurse, and there was an Arab anesthesiologist. By the way, the Arab anesthesiologist said to me, we'd been in Israel not that long at that point, he said, how much do you weigh? And I told him how many pounds I weighed, and he said, well, what's that in kilo? And I said, I have absolutely no idea. And he said, Lo nora ninachesh. Don't worry about it, we'll guess. And I see this mask coming down, and I'm like, oh my God, that's the last thing I remember, and I guess he guessed correctly. But I think that image of whoever the patient has to be, you know, a Haredi nurse, a foreign-born Jewish surgeon, and an Arab anesthesiologist, and the patient could be a Jew or an Arab, I think it's actually much more important that they go see an emergency room than that they see the Kotel. Really, because you can see the Kotel on any, you know, one of those little constant cameras. A gazillion different websites have a camera. Go look at the Kotel right now on your cell phone. But you can't get into an emergency room, and I think it really embodies what Israel's all about. I would take them actually to Har Herzl, but I wouldn't take them to the normal places in Har Herzl. I would take them to this little cave in Har Herzl, which is dedicated to the children who fought in the underground. And there's plaques on the walls, got his or her name, you know, Abraham Green, whatever. 12 years old, died in the performance of his mission. 12, 16, 13. It's mind-boggling. I mean, think about the 12 and 13-year-olds that you know, that you're raising, or that your children are raising. It's mind-boggling. And I would take them there to see just, you know, how much an entire society has given for this.